Service, with Director Kimberly Cheatle resigning just one day after she testified before the House Oversight Committee. Cheatle faced blistering criticism and mounting calls from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to step down in the wake of that assassination attempt on former President Trump at a campaign rally earlier this month. Cheatle taking accountability during her testimony, saying that the attempted assassination marked the most significant operational failure of the Secret Service in decades. Acting director of the agency now, RonyRon, just a short time ago, issuing a message to his workforce, pledging to restore the faith and the confidence in the American people. I want to bring back my panel here, Mike, Heidi, John, and Jay. So, look, Jay, in the last weeks here, there was an interview with ABC's Pierre Thomas, and Cheatle said in that interview that the Secret Service would be transparent, right, both internally and externally, specifically when testifying in front of Congress. And then that didn't really happen, and it seems like there's a bipartisan agreement here that she did not meet the mark. So overall, what has the reaction been like from lawmakers since her resignation?
I mean, firstly, just during that hearing, I had members of Congress, some of John's old colleagues actually, text me and say that they were dismayed by what she was not saying in that hearing, that she was more candid with Pierre in the interview, some people told me, and some people said it in that hearing, than she was in that hearing. She often said, look, it's too soon since the incident, we were 9 days out at that point, there's an investigation ongoing. That's the way she answered a lot of questions. And so it became clear after that performance that her job was just really unsustainable. Speaker Mike Johnson, even before that performance in that hearing, told me he met with her prior to that testimony and looked her in the eye and said to her that she needed to, quote, take responsibility and needed to resign. So the reaction here on the Hill is there are a lot of members of Congress, Republican and Democrat, who are happy that she did.
And it is that interesting bipartisan nature here that we're seeing for the first time in a really long time. Heidi, what's your takeaway from that?
Well, you don't have to be a genius or an expert in law enforcement to know that things went terribly wrong and she has not handled it well. But I agree, it's a rare moment. I agree with Mike Johnson. She should have resigned even before the testimony.
Right, I have not gone so far. I mean, can anyone else hear Jay O'Brien laughing over there? We can hear you, Jay. We got you loud and clear. But it's interesting to hear Heidi agree with Speaker Johnson. And John, look, what kind of vulnerabilities right now, though, are facing the Secret Service in the midst of this very active and evolving, dangerous election season?
Yeah, well, it's all well and good that they replaced a director. She was clearly in over her head, it seemed like. But, you know, we are in the most consequential time for the Secret Service once every 4 years, and that is campaign season, presidential campaign season. The vulnerabilities are the most high. The agents are most overworked during this period of time. They're heroes. They're out doing the best they can. They made mistakes in this one, and they're paying a heavy price for it. But let's not forget, we got a campaign to protect of three candidates, and they got a lot of work to do. So you can't let this be a distraction. They've got to understand and stay mission focused.
Right after a long time asking, RFK Jr. wanted Secret Service protection. He wasn't getting it, and after that, he now has it for the first time. But Mike, look, this is something that bothered me from the beginning of this, is we started to see all this finger pointing between the Secret Service and the local authorities there in Pennsylvania. I mean, what does that say about the leadership in that moment? This is a joint command, but Secret Service is in charge. The buck stops there.
It does. This is just a great example and a case study for a failure of leadership and also, too, in crisis management. We are in a day and age, Kana, now where the American public wants accountability immediately. Before, you had more time to say pinning an investigation. But at the speed that news operates now, leadership, no matter what sector of industry or business that you're in, you need to come out, take responsibility, and communicate almost hourly, twice a day, daily press conference and briefings about the status of your investigation, what you're looking into, while accepting blame and responsibility. Because for me, Kana, my fear is by it being on her, she resigning, did we even get to the root cause of which departments were responsible and who was in charge of the local police department and where did they fail? And then how do we get the training so that that communication gap doesn't exist again?
Absolutely. The American people still need answers to this. And we also, of course, can't forget that there are 2 little girls in Pennsylvania now that go to bed without their dad every night. Mike, Heidi, John, and Jay, our thanks to you.
That is a fact. That's a fact. That's a big fact.
Yes, I remember we did talk about a little bit during the Donald. We did an episode of live stream, the broadcast of the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, and we kind of spoke a little bit about how the Secret Service did a terrible job in a way, and now since resigned, we could elaborate a little bit more about it as well. So go ahead, Hakeem. What's your take? Do you think it was the right decision for her to resign?
100%. I'm gonna agree with the speaker too. She should have resigned the first day. After that, it was just shambles and the disgrace to the history of the Secret Service. They do not play. Secret Service ain't never played. They've always hit their target. They've always this. I hope the American public does not look at the Secret Service as they drop the ball on this. When the team has failed, you can link back to your leader. Why didn't she strategically orchestrated this in a way to protect one of our greatest national treasures in America, our beloved number 46? And the thing about it is, anybody who are in office, run for office, should have been protected. This was just a sloppy job. This doesn't fall on the Secret Service guys that was there. They did their job. Shout outs to the snipers. They just wasn't positioned right. And I don't want that. They just wasn't positioned right. And I think that I hope that y'all won't blame them and look at the leader and the underboss under the leader. You know what I mean? To say that why didn't they do that? And Jordan heard him say, what should be more concerning is no matter who you are is what protection you have can be touched. That's a fact. That's a fact, Joe. That's a fact.
Now, when it comes to Kimberly Cheatle, to be honest with you, Hakeem and Jordan, she should be prosecuted. Because remember, this is not just an attempt on a citizen. This was an attempt on a former president, Donald J. Trump. That situation was not supposed to happen. I was talking about that with someone at my job. Literally last night, we were talking about the simple fact is, remember, when JFK got assassinated, it was a major thing because they even say the Secret Service dropped the ball on that situation. That was not supposed to happen. You're supposed to protect their job as a Secret Service, especially as a Secret Service director. Your job is to protect the president or even the former president at all costs. No one is to be able to even graze at him. And for that to happen, she should be prosecuted. I don't think she should have just resigned. I think she should be prosecuted. I think she need to go to jail. Because then what would have happened, Hakeem and Jordan, what would have happened if Trump would have got assassinated and he would have been out of here?
It would have been shambles. It would have went all the way up. If you want to see a civil war, let our beloved 46 had died that day.
No, but for real though, people think it's a game. It's not a game.
You want to see people, snipers and people going crazy? Let Trump not have made it.
And that's what I'm trying to tell. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. The Secret Service dropped the ball. And not that, but shout out to Trump because remember when Trump did the rally over there in Milwaukee, he didn't throw them under the bus. Now after he was done with the rally, he did an interview. Then he was like, "Hey, the Secret Service fell in this aspect because they were supposed to protect me at all costs because that's their job to do is to protect the president." Now, don't get me wrong. I think towards the end when he got grazed and he hit the floor, they did pile on him. But to me, it was too late. They fell. The director's not only should just resign, she should be prosecuted. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, if I'm the president of the United States, I should feel like I'm bulletproof. And to see that situation, with that, he always got to say something like that. It just told me the planet was just terrible, terrible. And I kind of agree with you, Ronnie. I think she should be prosecuted with something like that, because situations like that, if you got the Secret Service, which you are handpicked, that's to me that's the highest honor you can get. Better if you're high rank in the military, in the Marines, in the Army, Navy, even the Navy SEALs, all that type of things. But she did the right thing, resigning for sure. And to me, I don't know why Joe Biden didn't fire her the second that he found out Donald Trump almost got assassinated right then. And that's just tell you how, Joe Biden, he's not in his head right now, because if that was Donald Trump, if that was the other way around, if Donald Trump was the president and Joe Biden was attempted to get assassinated, Donald Trump would probably would have fired her and find somebody new and everything. It probably would have prosecuted her then. But the thing is, with Joe Biden, as it tells you, he's looking right now, and he should have, fired her a long time ago. But yeah, she definitely did the right thing to do of resigning. I agree with you, Hakeem. She should have resigned day one for sure, because stuff like that, that should never ever happen, or be an attempt to happen. I remember I think we showed a clip about how there was a civilian was watching the shooter, climbing up the ladder, and the police was watching him. Police was watching him climbing up the ladder. But the thing is, the police kind of didn't know if he was part of the Secret Service, or he was a part of some type of force and everything. And, the Secret Service, and when the Secret Service did see the guy and everything, but to me, when you see something like that, and somebody that's a person with an assault rifle that's unfamiliar, automatically you got to take him out immediately. You shouldn't wait for him to shoot a couple of times, and took a firefighter's life, and also shot a couple of people which I don't know if they're still living or still in critical condition, something like that. But something like that happens, if you see somebody who's going to attack the president or former president, you got to take them out immediately. And for her to go like that, almost, and just the bullet, fly past them and also hit Glass and Grace's ear. That's his taste right there. Say, hey, that was just a very, very poor performance of what she did, and to me, it was like that, you should never, I'm not saying you should never have a job, but when it comes to that should be in your permanent, some type of record of your job, that you fell at this specific state of really planning, the rally of your Secret Service, and how did you really protect Donald Trump. So hopefully, with Joe Biden, I don't even want Joe Biden to find a new person. I'd rather if Donald Trump's, I'd rather the next president do it. Even if Kamala Harris, I'd rather have another president find somebody else and everything, because I right now I just don't trust Joe Biden, picking particular people, especially for Secret Service right now, because like I said earlier, he didn't fire her immediately once it happened. So I'd rather our next president pick. I mean, he can pick somebody maybe temporarily, but I'd rather have our next president pick somebody who's guaranteed to do the job well, who would definitely can plan for certain situations like this. Because what she did, it's scary, because we have the Secret Service. You're supposed to be bulletproof, and that situation, it just shows you like, hey, you could take a Secret Service down, and that should be looking more odds to what does other countries like Russia or China or somebody in the Middle East can say, hey, if it's so easy to shoot a pro president with a Secret Service, what would we plan? What we could be planning something to do, and if it's easy like that, what we can do, plan something, we could take the president out, something like that, in a different country or something like that. Not just in America, but in a different country and everything. But you got a Secret Service, so yeah, man, the Secret Service need to tied up ASAP. Not just take years. They need somebody, find somebody, tighten it up ASAP, because this situation should never happen, especially if you're a president or former president.
I'm going to just hit me out. Just hit me out and say Biden praised her afterwards. He did?
That's crazy. I wanted to put this one.
Just hear me out, please. If you can find an article, please put the link down, because I want to see that. Or you can find a clip, please send it to us. You can find it, please. If you can't find it, it's fine. But you can find a clip, a video, or article about it. Please find it out, because if that's the case, that's sad. That's what I'm just talking about. That's what I just said. It's like, I don't feel like he should pick somebody if he praised her after then.
So I wanted to put this one point, and I want to put the sisterhood on notice.
Why you keep attacking this?
I got to. You have worked your way up to become the first female Secret Service director in the ball drop. You say we was misogynistic. We got you here. Now, when we said that a woman couldn't do the job, Remember, we was in the back. Now you made all your sisters feel like the reality was set in stone. You know what I mean? And I wanted to have that uncomfortable conversation. Yes, in the back, a lot of the guys say she can't do no job. Are we proving it now?
I kind of disagree. There is some people, there is some women that's able to do corporate American jobs, and
No,
not
not
that, but
really.
able to take like strong position, like CEO type position.
I support 100%, but this was the Secret Service, and a lot of us, a lot of us men, a lot of us are misogynistic, and we say a woman can't do that man's job, and they almost sniped our beloved 46. Most people are scared to say what I'm just saying. Yes, we did say you wasn't able to do that. Did you prove our point? Or are you going to redeem yourself now?
You're you're on your you're on your own, Hakeem, on that one. You know me. I'm not afraid of
I
sisterhood,
know that.
but at the same time, but I can't. I think this one right here, she just
Listen,
dropped the ball.
she just dropped the ball. I love the fact that we had a woman Secret Service. I'm just really getting into the mindset to tell you how men say, man, she almost let the man